Russia. We are now exploring Russia's second largest city. This is like the main square of St. Petersburg. It is absolutely gorgeous. The Winter Palace, or now known as the Hermitage Museum. So the Winter Palace from the 1760s onwards was the main residence of the Russian Tsars. It's located on the Neva River. This is Palace Square. Makes sense, right? The square in which the palace is located. Palace Square. Next up on our sightseeing tour of St. Petersburg is the Church of the Savior Unspilled Blood. Now, the Church of the Savior Unspilled Blood was built between 1883 and 1907. It was on the site where Emperor Alexander II was actually fatally wounded. Note to self, significantly more people here than in Moscow. Right now we are inside the church and I'm filming, which is super awesome because guys and gals, in Russia so far, in the churches and cathedrals we've been to, I have not been able to film. It is so beautiful inside. The artwork again is, there's so many paintings. Like the entire walls are just covered in paintings and gold. And I was noticing one thing that I've noticed here in St. Petersburg, which I was finding that when we were in Moscow, they weren't really using a lot of blue. It was more like gold and red and greens. But here, blue! What a blue! Blue! That's blue! I was just saying how exciting it is that we can actually film and take photos inside the cathedral because normally we can't, right?
Right.
Is all tied up. I am ready for the boat ride. It's gonna be busy. It is Canal sightseeing tour day today, so we are going to be going through all the various canals because St. Petersburg is kind of like the Venice of Russia. There's a lot of canals, there's a lot of waterways, and obviously the Neva River. So this is our route. We are starting at the Fabergé Museum. We'll be cutting up through here and going through all of the other sites that go out toward the Neva. We'll be sightseeing through here, Bora, and back to where we all begun.
В названии которого сохранилась фамилия строившего его подрядчика.
Summer in Russia, my friends. Summer in Russia. We are exploring Peter and Paul's fortress today. There is a lot of things to see and do here, so we're going to kind of pick and choose some of them. So I like to use the audio guide sometimes. And now it is raining, so we are going to go inside and explore one of the museums. Model of the Alexander and Alexandrovsky, I should say, column that we saw yesterday in the Palace Square. Remember, it was the huge column we saw yesterday? This is the model version. They're talking about how they actually erected it. This is how they raised the column using this huge catapult machine. And it actually only took an hour to raise up, which is pretty surprising because it was a big column. So, to get from, which we actually took, so we went from Moscow to St. Petersburg. We took the high-speed train to get here, but it used to take 4 days to get from Moscow to St. Petersburg. Then when they built a railway, it took 18 hours. And now with the high-speed train, which is the train that we actually took, 4 hours. Well, just under 4 hours. We've now moved on to another museum. This is all about the history of Peter and Paul's fortress. There are a lot of like old school engineering plans, more plans. It's good to know that they planned this stuff back then. We've done a lot of walking today in St. Petersburg, and we just kind of wanted to have like a hotel room late dinner. I got some vegan soup. It looks like just plain vegetable noodle soup. You're supposed to be able to cook it for 20 minutes. Now you don't have like anything to cook it with. So I found this ice bucket. You guys can see this. It is an ice bucket, but it's like stainless steel. So I'm gonna attempt to make soup in this. I don't know, what could possibly go wrong? Do you think this soup's gonna work out, Matt? It is, woo! I've steamed up the camera. All right, 20 minutes later. Oh, yes! It actually worked. This actually worked. Some hotel room ice bucket soup for you. Oh yeah, there's like no salt in it. But I still made soup in a nice bucket, so I feel like that's a hotel room hack. The peas are definitely kind of hard. Welcome to inside the Hermitage Museum. This is the main entrance, and it is quite grand, quite a main entrance. But we are going to be going inside the museum and exploring the various art exhibits. There is a lot to see and do here. There's really over 3 million pieces of art in this museum. We're not going to see all 3 million of them, I'll tell you that right now. Oh my goodness. There's so many rooms. Here's a travel tip. If you don't know where you're going inside a museum, follow the tour groups that you're not a part of, because generally they have a sought out route and know where the old good spots are. So gigantic painting of me riding a horse to hang on my walls. We're still working our way through the museum. We've done maybe a tenth. I feel like it's more like 1/20th of the museum, because I don't think we've done 100 rooms. We've not done 100 rooms. I feel like we've done maybe 50. And it just keeps. I've never been in a place like this before. Getting really confusing. The map is not clear. It's just all they all like connect. See this? Currently hanging out the colonnade here in Saint Isaacs Cathedral. So there are 2 things you can do. You can do the colonnade, or you can do the museum, which is basically the inside of the church. But we decided we wanted to hike up all those stairs. That's all where we were exploring the last few days.